We're seeing more and more of these vehicle title problems popping up from people that bought cars at dealerships. This is not, buying a car from some guy on Craigslist on the street corner, or buying a car on OfferUp or Facebook Marketplace where the seller was kind of maybe sketchy at best. These are people that bought cars from licensed car dealerships and didn't get a title. Here's a person who bought a Jeep Wrangler. The dealer won't give me a title, making it impossible to get license plates. And when they went back to the dealer laughed at them. Can't drive their new vehicle because they can't get titles and plates. How does that even happen? This is a dealership. Well, it is happening. Here's a new car dealership. LaFontaine Hyundai in Detroit had their license suspended because they were selling cars without titles. Selling vehicles, failure to have a title in possession of the vehicle. Failure to properly complete state's title application. How does this happen? Well, here's one of the scenarios that can come up that you may not know about as a consumer, but it's important to be aware of when you're buying a car from a dealer. Dealers, like consumers, actually finance their cars. If you buy a car, you're going to get a car loan and you make payments on it. Dealers have car loans on all the vehicles on their inventory. It's called floor plan credit, floor plan financing, right? The word floor comes from the cars on your showroom floor. There's a plan for financing it, floor plan financing. So what happens is, you might think, well, the dealer, why do they have to finance their cars? Well, think about how many cars are on a dealer's lot. Even if a dealer has 100 cars on their lot, just 100, and let's suppose each car averages $35,000. That's $3.5 million of inventory sitting on a lot. That's, let's say, a new car dealer. Now, first of all, most new car dealers have more than 100 cars. And cars don't cost $35,000 anymore. Now they're $40,000. So that's a minimum. Even if you have a small mom and pop used car store that has 10 cars on their lot and they're $7,000 each, that's $70,000. Right? Think about the mom and pop car dealer with a little trailer on the corner. $70,000 might be a stretch for them to come up with. So they do this floor plan financing. How does it work? Well, when you buy these cars, whether it's from an auction, from the factory, or from a trade-in, you contact your lien holder. That's called a floor plan lender. And you tell them, look, I just bought this 2022 Jeep from the auction. Great. We will pay the auction, wire transfer them the money. You go get the car, you ship it. We're going to hold the title. And that's the key. The lender holds onto the title. Just like you as a consumer, when you finance a car, the bank holds your title too, because they don't want you to sell it without paying them. The floor plan lender wants to do the same thing. They want to hold that title to make sure the dealer just doesn't sell the car, pocket the money, doesn't pay them off. So let's say the dealer bought that car for $22,000. The lender financed it. Now the dealer sells it for a profit. Let's say they sell it for $25,000, right? They make $3,000. They take the $25,000, they take $22,000, give it to the lender, and then you will be back in your video in just a few seconds. In the meantime, remember that actualhuman.com offers you live one-on-one private video consultation with an expert in this exact subject. We want to listen to your story. We want to hear your questions. We want to give you expert advisement of your options and tell you what we know about your particular situation. Now back to your video. And they keep the $3,000 for profit. So what they're supposed to do is send that $22,000 to the floor plan lien holder to get the title. Then when they get the title, they can get an application, put it in your name, and you're good to go. They sign the back. However, sometimes if that car dealership is running short on cash, maybe they have to make payroll, maybe they have to pay their rent. That's where sometimes title problems come up, because they will have a problem with getting the title from the lien holder if they don't have the cash. And they figure, well, I'll just use this buyer's money to pay some bills and I'll pay for it later. And it becomes a Ponzi scheme, right? They'll take your money to pay somebody else's car off and their money to pay your car off. Next thing you know, the lender has what's called an out of trust scenario. If that dealership maybe even only has 5 cars, that they didn't pay off. Doesn't sound like a lot, but 5 cars, that could be $100,000. And if the car dealer is short on cash, they may never be able to come back from that $100,000. If they're already losing money, you can never pay back $100,000 if you're losing money. And so what happens is there's people that don't get titles for cars. What makes it worse is if you are a buyer who financed the car when you bought it. Let's say when you bought that $25,000 car, you went to a bank, you went to, let's say, Chase Bank, you took out a car loan for $25,000 and they paid the dealer for the car. Well, now if the bank doesn't get the title, you still have to pay that car loan and you have no title for your car. Your bank is not going to waive your loan just because the dealer didn't give you a title. They paid the money. When you get a car loan, the bank writes a check to that dealer for 100% of the car in full. So they're already out the money. If the bank doesn't give them a title, I'm sorry, the dealer doesn't give the bank the title, the bank can do two things. They can either call the loan in full and make you pay it back, or they can convert it to a personal loan instead of a car loan. And now they can jack up the rate, so your payment might go up. So what do we recommend you do? If you go to a car dealer and you are going to buy a car, have them at least show you the title. They're not going to give you the title, but before you sign the paperwork, before you give the money, say, show me the title that you have it in your possession, right? Remember this article here for this new car dealer. Failure to have title in possession, right? So if you make the dealer at least show you the title, that's going to eliminate one thing that could happen that could keep you from getting a license plate and title for your car. If they can't show you the title, if they say, well, we don't have it, even if it's at the floor plan lender, you can say, that's fine. Why don't you get the title first and then I'll buy the car? They might have to pay off that lien holder to get the title. And they might say, well, we don't want to pay the $22,000 until we get the money from you. Well, you might ask them, you don't have an extra $22,000 laying around? If they are that cash strapped, maybe it's not a dealer you want to do business with, right? Because if they get the title and pay it off, and then even if you don't follow through on the deal or you cancel the deal, they can always give the title back and get the loan again. So we recommend having the dealer show you the title to make sure that they're in possession of the title, that they're legitimate, that they have cash, and you're not going to get stuck paying for a car you can't even drive. If you have more questions about how titles work, you can click the link below. We'd be glad to have a discussion with you. If you found this video helpful, be sure to click on other videos on our channel to see if there's further information that could give you more insight into resolving your particular situation.